Once again, it's time for the Blues Harp Biker.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. Here I am cruising on my 2007 Harley Davidson Softail Deluxe down West Belmont Avenue, Fresno County. I'm going to go over with you today my top 5 motorcycle movies. These are what I think are the top. These are what I think are the best. They're my favorites. And they may not be the best movies. They may not be your favorites. If you have some favorites, go ahead and leave them in the comments below. You know, I tend to stick with the classics. I tend to stick with things that have a classic theme, older movies, things that have cool motorcycles in them. These are my top 5. We're going to start with Electra Glide in Blue at number 5, starring Robert Blake as motorcycle officer John Wintergreen. He has one dream in life, and that's to become a detective and get off of the motorcycle squad in Arizona, where he's always out in the desert in the hot sun. One day he's called out to a murder scene, and he impresses the head detective with his knowledge and his ability to think about scenarios. So they ask him to go ahead and become a detective. He gets moved up into the detective department, and he doesn't dig it. He doesn't dig what's going on. He doesn't dig how they treat people. He doesn't dig how he's treated. He doesn't like how they do things. They're a bunch of slouches and a bunch of clowns. And he ends up back on the motorcycle squad. A few things happen along the way. In the murder, he finds out that his friend is connected with stealing some money at the murder scene, and all kinds of things ensue. I don't want to spoil the movie for you, but it is a very interesting movie. Robert Blake does a wonderful job in it, and one interesting point of the movie is the rock band Chicago is in the movie. They play a bunch of hippies who the head detective is trying to pin the murder on, which they had nothing to do with the murder, but there is a surprise twist at the end. Terry Kath does something pretty despicable, but I am not going to spoil that for you. Electra Glide in Blue at number 5. Wonderful movie. I suggest you watch it. Number 4 is Quadrophenia. It's a movie form of Pete Townshend's second full-length rock opera, Quadrophenia, and the music is done by The Who, and it is not the opera itself. The actors don't break out into song or anything like that. It's just a straight-ahead movie. Mainly the movie is about Vespa scooters and the rivalry between the mods and the rockers in the 1960s. There's a lot of cool triumphs in there too, leather-clad rockers, and it's about a young man kind of coming to terms with how adult life is going to be. He doesn't want to be like his parents. He sees a different way of life that really isn't happening, and really probably isn't going to happen, that he's probably going to grow out of. And it's a very interesting film. Sting is in the movie from The Police. It was before he was known for The Police. He was an actor, and he plays a pretty big role in the movie. It's a must-see. If you haven't seen Quadrophenia yet, I suggest that, and that's my number 4 pick. Number 3 is The Loveless. The Loveless, starring Willem Dafoe and Robert Gordon. It is a strange movie. It's very dark, and it's filmed with a real classic look to it. It's color, great motorcycles in it. They're all riding old knuckleheads, and there's great cars in it. The coolest thing about the movie is the great rockabilly singer Robert Gordon is in it. And he also did the soundtrack for the movie. It's great music in it, and he is absolutely cool. If you like cool rockabilly stuff, if you like, you know, that old film noir feel to a film, it's got that. It's a very strange plot. I don't want to go too deep into it for you because, again, I don't want to spoil it. I'm going to say that about all of these movies because I don't want to spoil anything for anybody. But The Loveless, I believe it's Willem Dafoe's first role, and it is a strange movie. I love it. I think it's one of the coolest motorcycle movies. Well, it's my top 3. So make sure you watch The Loveless if you haven't yet. Number 2, of course, is the movie I think that The Loveless was really inspired by because the acting is similar in it as The Wild One. Of course, that's my number 2 pick, The Wild One. If you watched my earlier video about The Wild One, there is some speculation that perhaps some of that might have been filmed in my hometown of Fresno, California. The Wild One starred Lee Marvin and of course Marlon Brando, and it's loosely based on the events that supposedly happened in Hollister, California in 1948, where some motorcycle clubs came in and took the town over. Time magazine did an article about it and really made it seem like these guys tore things up. I'm not sure how much of it was true, but who knows. But that's what The Wild One was loosely based on. The 2 rival motorcycle clubs come in and cause a lot of trouble, and you know, it's got cool music, cool motorcycles, acting is cool. Marlon Brando and Lee Marvin are just cool dudes. And that's my number 2 pick, of course, the classic, the first biker movie ever, The Wild One. And of course, I'm going to be very typical here, and you're going to know my number 1 pick, of course, is Easy Rider. Everybody's number 1 pick probably is Easy Rider. Easy Rider probably got me interested in motorcycles, and Peter Fonda and Dennis Hopper and Jack Nicholson. That movie for them was a labor of love. Great motorcycles in it, the panheads, and actually Phil Spector made a cameo in the movie too. 2 guys, big drug dealers, made a big haul, made enough money to where they don't have to work for the rest of their lives, decided they were going to take a trip from Los Angeles to New Orleans, go through the South. They encountered a lot of America that they didn't expect. They encountered a lot of hatred and a lot of backwards thinking, and all they wanted to do was ride their motorcycles to the Mardi Gras, and they ran into a lot of trouble. Again, I'm not going to spoil it for you. If you haven't seen Easy Rider, I don't know, have you been under a rock? It's a must-see movie, and it's my number 1 pick, Easy Rider. It has a classic soundtrack, Jimi Hendrix, the band, and of course probably the song that is most associated with crazy motorcycle riding would be Born to Be Wild by Steppenwolf. That's my number 1, Easy Rider. So I'm going to recap this real fast. Okay, so number 5 is Electra Glide in blue. Look out, dog. Number 4, Quadrophenia. Number 3, The Loveless. Number 2, The Wild One. Number 1, Easy Rider. I got some honorable mentions too we'll throw in there. How about the documentary Salt Ghost, The Return of the Nitro Express, all about Bonneville, all about a motorcycle that Used to win records that kind of disappeared. An old Triumph motorcycle kind of disappeared. No one knows what happened to the owner, and it resurfaced, and these guys bought it, brought it back to its former glory, took it to Bonneville, raced it, got a record with it, and an amazing story. The world's fastest Indian. The story of Burt Munro, who took his Indian Scout and from New Zealand all the way to Bonneville and raced it and got the land speed record. Choppertown the Sinners, if you haven't seen that documentary, that's a great documentary as well. Hell's Angels on Wheels, Jack Nicholson's last B-movie appearance. Those are all great honorable mentions, but those are my top 5. I'm going to leave it there. Let's hear your top 5. Leave it in the comments below. Subscribe to my channel. Like the videos, watch all my videos. Be sure and hit that bell notification too. It'll tell you whenever I upload a new video. It'll let you know what I'm doing and what's happening. So there you go. Thanks a lot for watching.